And welcome to the Crawford Podcasting Network. Another superb podcast coming up with my good friend Richard Rellford, number 40, out of Riviera Beach, Florida, Suncoast High School, the same high school that produced Anthony Carter, also produced Richard Rellford. And we have a special guest down below. We had V last week, Carlton Valentine. We had a Spartan on here, but now we got a fellow Wolverine, a teammate of yours, who played with you the 4 years in Ann Arbor. He's Butch Wade. He's a glass eater. He's out of Boston, Massachusetts, and so great to have you on, Butch.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what. So I was just looking at the calendars over the years. So in about 2 or 3 years, you guys can have your 40th, 40 anniversary of your two-time Big Ten champion.
Yes.
Make you feel old, Rich?
Yes, it does, Tom. Believe me, to say that and me have not been going to a game yet this year.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice when I go to the Wisconsin game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
So it should be a lot of fun. And listen, man, anytime I can get to Ann Arbor time, I love it there.
Yeah. So Butch, you're down in Sarasota. You're a teacher. You're a coach, girls basketball coach. I think that's very cool.
Well, I'm doing boys now. I've done boys for like the last 9 years, and then last year I had ankle replacement, so I took a year off.
Okay.
To heal some wounds here.
Okay. So you're coaching boys or girls? Okay.
Boys.
So
did girls a while ago.
And so you're an educator. You're a protector, and I want to pose this question to you, and then we'll get into basketball nostalgic because of what happened, the horrific thing that happened up here in East Lansing, a mile from my house at Michigan State. And you're down there in Sarasota, and the state of Florida, has been victimized by some horrific, shootings. Obviously, the one in particular at Stoneman Douglas and high school. And how do you, as a teacher, as a coach, how do you make your kids feel safe in that environment down there?
It's something that we all are aware of course. We've got monthly lockdown drills that we do here at school, fire drills. Just try to be prepared, and hope something like that never happens. But, it's in the back of your mind. There's safe corners at school. There's lockdown places that we go to. We've got 3 full-time school resource officers on campus. And then we've also got the sheriff's deputies that are also in the area as well. Okay,
that's good. And I know you watched the Wolverines but what was your impact on how the University of Michigan, your alma mater, paid homage to Michigan State? I was down in Chrysler. I've been going to games down there since that building opened in '67. I have never been in an environment like that where there was so much respect for the rival. But it had to make you proud as an alumnus of Michigan, I take it.
It did. Just the fact, and it's too bad that it takes tragedy sometimes to bring us closer together. But I thought that was a real good display of class from Michigan. That's just, who we are. And I think, they went above and beyond. At the end of the day, whatever you may say, Michigan State's like a brother. We feel their pain.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome too. I don't know why I saw it, but I think they even painted the rock.
Yeah, they painted the rock.
Yes. Yes, they did.
Yeah, that was, and they did a visual on the Diag, and then Michigan band's playing the MSU Shadows, the alma mater. It was there wasn't a dry eye in place. I thought it was absolutely terrific. And in Michigan State, obviously, those kids were pretty shook up with what happened on their campus, and they play hard this game. Michigan played hard too, and Rich, we've been going back and forth on this Michigan team, having some frustrating moments about the rebounding, and we'll have Butch talk about the rebounding. But I'll tell you what, to have a 38-25 rebounding advantage after that debacle in Madison, where one of the worst rebounding teams in the nation out-rebounded Michigan offensively like 14-8. It had to make you smile, right?
Listen, I was so happy for the Michigan team against Michigan State. My heart felt for those guys, and I hope people understand that even though we felt for them and we were with them with the Michigan State strong, the games are the games. And we had to win. We needed that. We needed that win. And so Listen, man, we had Carlton on Valentine, and
Yeah,
we talked about it. And like I said, man, we got brothers down there in Lansing, and
yeah.
so we feel for them. And like I said, we got a class act at Michigan. That's why we look out for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Butch, you had a pretty good experience. Well, yeah, of the senior year though, we talked about that last week with Carlton Valentine about how your Big Ten champs your senior year in Michigan State was this. I call it a bad matchup with Skiles.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, it just was not a good matchup that senior year. But what's your what do you recall about those games at Michigan, in particular playing up at Jennison Fieldhouse, which was one of the toughest environments you could play?
It was. I remember there was kind of like a gauntlet, so to speak. You had to go through from the
Yes,
playing floor to the locker room, and the people were heckling, and I mean they could almost reach out and touch you. It was kind of
yes,
intimidating, But
yes,
I think
yes.
once we got to the court, we put it aside, and we just that team we had that year was really good. But playing against Michigan State, it was a nightmare. They had Scotty Skiles, and they had DJ, and they had Big
Yeah,
Kevin Johnson and
yeah,
Kevin Willis. They had
yeah,
some players. They matched up pretty well with us.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, they did. Well, Butch, what do you think about that rebounding advantage? I mean, Michigan finally rebounded. We had Wayman Britt on a couple weeks ago, who's a defender who's got the defensive award named after him, no less. And he was not very happy about how Michigan had been defending and rebounding, but rebound is about effort, right, Butch? Is that was what your approach was, and you were so effective on the glass?
It's about effort and heart. And I always tell kids, I said, it's not how big you are, it's how big you play.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
And I
right.
just you've got to. One of the things I noticed um, is that you got to have a little nasty, and everybody's got to have a dedicated role. Like for example, when I played, my role was to get rebounds. I had to get one rebound every 3 minutes. That was what I was told to do, and
wow,
and and to hold the paint down, be a defender, and have a little bit of nastiness. Other guys could score, other guys could shoot the jump shot. What I mean? You've got to have an identity that you can take out there and be successful with. And sometimes I think Michigan plays really hard, and I watch them, but sometimes my heart goes out to them because they come up short, whether
yeah.
it be on a rebound, whether it be on an easy shot. It looks like when they run their offense, they get nothing easy.
You're exactly right. That's what we've been. It's like it's almost got a discombobulated look to it, and then Jets like throwing up. We're getting down into the 5 seconds on the shot clock, and all of a sudden the 4 shots going up, and you say to yourself, is that the best you can get out of the 30 seconds? But what could Doug McDaniel, Rich, was
Uh-huh.
terrific. I talked to him after the game.
Yes.
He's basically admitted that he's feeling like a leader on the team. He's a freshman, so he's got a little Gary Grant going on him.
Okay.
Where he's a freshman leader. I know it's the back end of the season, but 18 points and 4 rebounds, look pretty good, don't you think?
I thought that was the best game I've seen him play.
Without question. Yeah.
And he controlled the game as a point guard the way he should be controlling. Okay, I understand the freshman thing, but Butcher tell you, Gary was a freshman, and Gary came in with they ain't call him the general for nothing.
Yeah.
And he came in and he made sure everybody got the ball in the spots that they were supposed to get it. He was a pass first, shoot second guy. And once McDaniels get that, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Butch, I got to ask you about Terrace Reed, because Rich and I, when we talk about Terrace Reed, we compare him to Butch Wade.
Yes, we
And
do.
listen, I'm not talking about the free throw thing. I'm not even going to go there. Although we do say, okay, full disclosure. Rich and I have said that Terrace Reed makes Butch Wade look like Kyle Macy.
He does, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know what he's shooting, like 37%, but you know what?
He's getting better. He's getting better, and you got better too.
That game that I watched him play the other night, I mean, he was in the right place at the right time. He brought a little nasty.
Yes.
He made plays when he had to make plays, couple of offensive rebounds, couple of and ones. I mean, I like the kid. I like the kid. He gets after it. Now, I know he doesn't start. They start the other kid. What's it, Cheddar?
Yeah, well, yeah, they did in that game. But what I'm thinking, guys, I want your opinion on this. In Michigan State, that's a bad matchup for Michigan State, because Michigan State is weak in the post. I mean, I think Michigan State should go small. I think they should start Malik Hall, take Sissoko, put it on the bench, just play your percentages with an athletic team, because they just do not match up. And I knew that was a matchup, problem for Michigan State to have Hunter and Terrace in there.
Yes.
Look at the deflections. Look at how much how Terrace just caused problems for Michigan State and especially those last 4 to 6 minutes. I mean, he got like 24 minutes. But I agree with that. Yeah, I think they should start. I mean, what the heck? Well, why not, Rich? Why not start Terrace Reed Jr.?
We talked about this 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I said, I have no problem starting my Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Because I start these two Twin Towers, they're going to be matchup problems for everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody says, oh, well, what if they put a smaller guy? Who you think they're going to change first? The small guy or the big guy to put on the young fella? They're going to need a big guy.
Yeah.
Because like Butch say, he got a little nastiness to him. And I like that because he looking like a young version of Butch Wade. That's what I like.
He is a young version of Butch Wade. And Butch, I remember a game up at the barn. Did you have a putback at a buzzer beater? I think it was your junior year. I mean, that's the ultimate garbage. Game-winning shot on a putback. Okay, this is what Terrace Reed's going to win a game at the buzzer. You watch.
Really, I'm telling you. I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites now.
Izzo recruited him.
Oh.
And then they got another kid. I think they backed I think Villanova recruited this kid, Terrace Reed. I mean, that's a good recruit.
Yes, it is. That's Juwan lucked out, I feel. I feel Juwan stole one because when they told me that this kid was not being recruited, I was like, what do you mean? This kid is 6'11". Yeah, he's going to be a beast.
Yeah, and so no disrespect to Jed Howard, but I saw some metrics. When Hunter and Jed are on the court at the same time, Michigan doesn't do good offense. And I'm not saying you can't play him, but I mean,
right.
But I did this Terrace Reed, Hunter Dickinson thing, and this is a one-off. I'm probably overreacting, but I mean, you're up against the wall anyway, right, Butch? Just go for it, right? See what happens.
I like the kid. I like him a lot. Like I said, he plays hard, very hard, 110%. He's physical. The thing is, you got to put 5 guys out there and kind of develop some chemistry. Sometimes they lack chemistry. It's like, I don't know if they're trying to get out of one another's way. You obviously got to find another big that can play alongside Dickinson. I mean, he's out on the perimeter quite a bit too. Yeah. And they're doubling him, they're tripling him. When that's happening, someone's got to dive to the basket, find that soft spot, make yourself available.
Yeah. So, Butch, what was it? Okay, so you're a 4-year player at Michigan. You started your junior and senior year, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You were a rope. Okay. What was the difference from you coming off the bench to earning that starting position? What did you do to your game that puts you up there in the starting lineup with Rich?
Rich brought a lot of tangibles. He could shoot the ball. He was an offensive. I was just a compliment to the other guys that were out there. I knew my role. I knew how to get minutes. I knew exactly what I was bringing to the table. Defense, tenacity, rebounding, and when I got it, to try to score when I got it. My role was well defined, and I did it. I wasn't a star, but I was a star in my role.
Yeah. So it was Rellford, Tarpley, Wade up front, Gary Grant, and Antoine Jobert in the backcourt. Mm-hmm. Is that what the starting line? That's pretty good.
That was it.
Lineup.
But you know what, Tom? Even just like Butch saying, I tell this to kids as well. You don't win championships with one star. No. You win championships with a team.
Yeah.
And with a team comes sacrifice.
Yeah.
Butch averaged 25 in high school. Roy averaged 25. I averaged 20. If you don't sacrifice, you're not going to win. Exactly. And Butch's role was to rebound and knock people out. And that's what we did. Listen, if we said, Butch, we need to get open.
Yeah.
Off of Butch. Because we know we guaranteed to get open.
Yeah, Rich, when you were telling me a story where you first met Butch Wade, and Butch, why don't you give me your version of this? So what was the first experience knowing Richard Rellford? I mean, you're up in Boston. He's down in Riviera Beach, Florida, but this is where AAU makes the world small, right? Isn't that how that works? So tell us, how that whole went. You getting to know each other.
I'm trying to think the first time I saw Rich, whether it was out in Vegas or whether it was at 5-star basketball camp. I can't remember, but we had a team. We had a team that went out with the New York Gauchos out in Vegas that we had. I was power forward. Rich was
Okay.
the small forward. We had
Yes.
John Sally in the middle.
John Sally. Wow.
We had Pearl Washington at the point guard.
Oh my God.
And then we had a couple of, did we have a, I
Yeah,
think we
Bruce
may have had
Dalrymple.
Dalrymple.
Yep,
Oh, from
Bruce
Georgia
Dalrymple.
Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him.
We had a monster of a squad. I don't know how we lost, but you know, it's just like Rich said. We had 5 or 6 All-Americans, but it's hard to if there's no chemistry. And I think we played against a team out of Utah that just didn't miss.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how does that work? I mean, you live in different parts of the country and you're on the same team. I mean, logistically. I mean, did you just meet on weekend? How does that work?
No. He played on a team. We both got on the same team in New York. It was called the Gauchos. And what they could do is, say you played in a tournament and you might have lost to them or beat them, they can pick players up from different teams to go to Vegas for the national tournament. You know, at this time, nobody really cares that I'm Bush from Boston and I'm from Florida. They're just trying to win. That's it.
Yeah.
And I loved it because, you know, my brother went to St. John's. That's how I got up there.
Okay. So let's go back in the recruiting aspect when Frieder was going after both of you. Who committed first, and did that person commit, or did he recruit the other one? Who pulled it? Who pulled it first? That I'm going to Michigan.
Let me think. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Rich and I were at Michigan at the same time during our visit. We went and we watched a football game. That was amazing. We sat in the press box.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. And back then, I think they had AC playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was impressed with everything about Michigan, from education to facilities to basketball. Now, they hadn't had a good year the year before. They struck, I think it was 7-20.
7 wins. Yeah.
Everybody back east when I went home thought I was crazy for going to Michigan.
Thad Gardner was the best player on that team. You know,
yes. Yes.
That year. Yes.
And it was tough. It was tough. I know my dad and my mom wanted me to go away from home because that was right about the time or just before the Big East had taken off back then.
Yes.
It was up and coming, and people were like, no, you need to stay here and go to Providence or UConn or Boston College or one of those schools, you know. And I tell you, I went to Michigan. It just blew me away. It was like Michigan, one of my final choices. DePaul was there. Villanova was in there. Providence was in there. And a couple others, but Michigan was a total package.
Yeah.
When I went out for my visit, it was unbelievable.
Rich, what do you recall about that visit and everything?
Well, first of all, Butch was right because we're looking at the game from the booth.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, I had never in my life saw a stadium so big.
Yeah, you're living large, man. Living large.
I felt like we were important. And the real thing for me was AC was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And by Anthony being there, it was funny because I told you Anthony took me out on my visit, on my trips, doing the, through Ann Arbor and things like that. And so, listen, I had a great time. When me and Butch it was a good situation with us being there together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the thing of it is you were right, Butch. I mean, when you guys came out, I mean, that was the first quote unquote Fab Five.
Yeah.
I mean, you two and I remember a football player, Paul Yokish was part of that.
Yoke.
I can't. Who are the other two guys on? Who are the other two members of the Fab
Rob
Five?
Rob Henderson.
Rob from Lansing Eastern, my high school. That's right.
And Roy Tarpley.
And Roy Tarpley.
Oh, and Tarpley. Okay. So that was the first Fab Five. Okay. So that was a big deal. And so us fans, shallow and naive, thinking you guys were going to go, win the national championship the following year. So it took a couple years to kind of get it cooked. And Eric Turner was on the team, right? Was Eric Turner?
Yeah, he was a sophomore.
Yes.
Yeah. So you had kind of a mix of young, but when did you know that, those last 2 years, Butch, we'll start with you, that you were going to win a couple Big Ten titles?
We all started to come together, I think, within my sophomore year. And I can't remember our record exactly, but I think we might have gotten close to 18, 19, 20 wins. Yeah. But back then, I think only 32 teams made the tournament.
Yeah, it was tough. And you went to the NIT and you won the NIT, you beat Notre Dame. So a lot of people think, by going to the NIT, it might have even been a better thing for you because you got to
Mm-hmm.
play more. And the NIT was a bigger deal then than it obviously is now.
Right.
Yes.
But that was, I think that was huge. Rich, do you agree with Butch on that?
Well,
That was the key.
this is this is when I knew we were going to win after our sophomore year. Like Butch said, when we won the NIT, I
Yeah.
felt like we kind of took the NIT personal because we felt we should have been into the tournament, and they
Yeah.
took St. John's ahead of us with the same record. They
Yeah.
had the same record, and
Mhm.
so we felt like, okay, we're gonna run through this tournament. And once we ran through the tournament, then it was all on us. It
Yeah.
was on us.
Okay, so I'm super excited. Your junior year, I'm down in Ann Arbor. It was like the Big Ten opener, and you played Indiana.
Yes.
Okay, and you got blown out
Yes, we
by
did.
Indiana. The first,
Yes,
remember
we
that?
did.
That was
Listen, that same game Freedom brought him into us. Isn't that the game, Butch? He brought Kitchell and Whitman and all them in there to talk. Well, he
Bob
brought
Knight
Bobby
came
Knight
in
to
there.
talk
Yeah,
in
yeah,
and talk
yeah.
to us.
I
But that's the
remember.
team with Whitman and Kitchell.
okay. So you start with Indiana, you get blown out, and then you rattle off all these wins in a row. Maybe I'm trying to think. Oh, you lost, and did you lose to Purdue? You might have been like 1-2.
Our junior year, we lost to
It was 16-2, I think, for the
Yeah, it was
Big
16
for the
Ten.
conference.
record. So, but anyway, yeah. So I think you were like 1-2, and then you started just cooking and blowing people out, and then you paid back Indiana on the last game of the regular season
Yes,
when
we
Gary had
did.
that layup at the end. But I mean, so when did that? I mean, when did it? Despite getting hammered by IU and at Chrysler, and we're walking out of there like, holy moly, what is? It was like 85-62 or some crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So where was the switch, Butch, that all of a sudden you got good?
No one takes kind to a good butt whooping. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think pride stepped in. I think all of us had our own personal goals and our egos and everything else, and it's just everybody had a background of we ain't taking too many more ass whoopings. If that's just kind of what it came down to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? The thing about it, with that team, we had come a long way, but we did a good job of holding one another accountable. And it started in practice. We had some rough practices. I'm talking about we had practices where it might have been some punches thrown, some elbows flying. It was they were pretty nasty. You know what I mean? Afterwards, we'd go to the training table, we hug, and it was all left on the floor. But we would get after each other. There weren't any days off in those practices. I can tell you that.
So where did that come from? Was that a Frieder thing? The Frieder, was it the coaching, or was it the leadership of the team itself that caused?
I just think it was in us. I heard Coach Popovich one time say, in order to win, you got to have a little nasty in you. You know what I mean? And we all had that. We were extremely competitive in practice. I mean, real competitive in practice.
Yeah. So people that watch our podcast, and Rich is always smiling. So I got to ask, where I don't see any nasty out of Richard Rellford. Butch. I mean, so tell me, Butch, from your perspective, was there any nasty in Richard Rellford in the 85-86 version?
Oh yeah. Rich get that look in his eye, in timeout. It came to the point where everybody. I was my brother's keeper.
That's right.
Rich could go out there and play, and Rich knew I had his back. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's right.
That's
Listen,
how
we all felt that
things.
way.
Yeah,
we all felt that way. We all felt like.
Did you all hang together on campus?
Yep.
Rich?
Yeah. Mickey Rat's video arcade.
Yeah.
Did you? Hey, Butch, did you like going to Pizza Bob's for a milkshake as much as Rich did?
All those places. We had flannels, lamplighter. We had great training tables. I mean, no, we did that. I think that was the thing that was very important in our success. We spent a lot of time outside of basketball. We go to study table together. When we had free time, we'd walk down to Mickey Rat's and play. Weekends we'd hang out and watch football or basketball games. We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. Did y'all, Rich? I mean, Rich, you lived there. You were rooming with Tarpley. I mean, did y'all live in the same apartment?
My freshman year, I roomed with Butch.
Oh, at West Quad.
Yes.
West Quad. And then after that, it was with Roy. And Butch is right, Tom. This is what guys say I understand too. We hung together when we wasn't playing. When
Yeah.
we wasn't playing any basketball on our free time, on our off days, we hung
Yeah.
together because
Yeah.
that's what builds the camaraderie with a team. And to say I'm your brother's keeper, that's everyone. That's
Yeah.
everyone from the lowest man on the totem pole to the
Yes,
highest
sir.
man on the totem pole. I got
Yeah.
your back.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about the Michigan teams.
Yeah. Yeah, Butch Rich, where's that block M, you know, down there in Toledo? He's right on the battle lines there. I mean,
That's
you
right.
got to spar with any like Florida Gator fans down there in Florida or other things and have to wear the, you know, stick your chest out with that block M?
All the time,
All
all
the
the
time.
time. You know, and
Yes,
the
I
people
know.
people are SEC crazy down here, as I'm sure you can be aware of. But you know,
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
supporting my Michigan and my Big Ten all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're true Michigan man through and through. It shows in this podcast. Butch, it's been awesome having you on. We got to do this more often, man. Right,
Absolutely.
right, Rich. You know,
Well,
we got to
Butch,
bring all.
I
I'm bringing
appreciate you.
Rich's peeps all back, even the guys that played against Carlton
That's
Valley.
right. I'm getting all my boys back. All
Yeah,
my boys.
yeah. So we'll do more of
Good
that. But
fella.
Butch, thanks so much for coming on. Good luck in your teaching and coaching, and let's stay connected, my friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, my brother. Much love, man.
Much love, guys.
All
All
right,
right, Tom.
all right. Go Blue. See ya.